Hi there friends! So I'm here with a little bit of a special video for you today. I kind of wanted to take a minute to make a video and talk about what Hamilton means to me. If you don't know, Hamilton is a new Broadway musical. It's a hip-hop musical about the lives of Alexander Hamilton and his wife Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton. And it's a show that's become an incredibly important part of my life in the past 6 months. And I think a part of who I am. Like, I would say that it's joined Les Mis in the category of shows that have changed who I am as a person and how I think about the world. So I do have some friends and viewers who have expressed some interest in seeing this video, but mostly I just want to make it for myself. So I actually do have notes here in my bullet journal, which does have a Hamilton sticker on it, because I typically don't plan out my videos, but I want to make sure that there were some things that I said for this one. So one thing that Hamilton has really done for me is help me make new friends and reconnect with old friends and kind of bond with them again. So it's been very funny how I've made so many new friends through Hamilton. Like, I had a class last semester, and the girl who sat next to me every day one day saw that I had Hamilton, the soundtrack, pulled up on my computer, and she was like, "Wait, do you like Hamilton?" And we started talking, and like we became friends because of that. Or last semester, I went to my roommate's sorority formal with her, and on the bus ride back, I heard the two girls in the row behind us talking about Hamilton. I typically will not initiate conversation with people I don't know, but I popped up over the seat and was like, "Hey, are you talking about Hamilton?" And we chatted for the rest of the ride back. And one of the people on my Disney trip that I did in January, we were talking about Moana one time, and Lin-Manuel Miranda came up and how he's writing music for it. And he was like, "Wait, do you like Hamilton?" And now we've bonded over it and we're good friends. We talk about it. So it really has helped me make new friends. And if I overhear people talking about Hamilton, I will butt into their conversation. And I'm not someone who will typically talk to people I don't know, but it's done that for me. And it's also helped me kind of reconnect with old friends and have something to talk to them about. And one thing I really miss about two of the girls that I lived with in the fall are abroad in Australia right now. And I miss hearing the Hamilton cast album coming from the kitchen or from their side of the apartment. And just, bonding over that and being able to talk about it. So Hamilton's really helped me make new friends, reconnect with old friends, and that's been really great. Another thing is that Hamilton, I think, has actually brought my family closer, because whenever I first got into it, the week that Lynn put the soundtrack on NPR, I, started talking to my parents about it and to my sister, and I made my dad listen to it like the weekend afterwards. And now my sister's super into it, and it's so great to hear her talk about history, and these, actual historical figures, and to know things. Like, she knows who wrote the Federalist Papers, and I think that's amazing. But then my mom and I will be like, "Oh, did you see that this person was on this talk show?" And like, "Did you see Lynn's tweet?" And that's so great. And even my dad walks around like, "You don't have the votes, you don't have the votes," or we'll be singing the Schuyler Sisters, and he'll hit those Aunt Peggy's. So I think it really has, given me a way to connect with my family, which is really amazing. Another thing that Hamilton's done is it's really given me an example of strong women. And I'm so thankful to Lin-Manuel Miranda for this, because he really has this show that's full of all these very dynamic male characters, but also you have these very strong female characters. And obviously, as a part of that is that Mariah Reynolds isn't in the show much, but I really appreciate that she's not blamed for the affair that she has with Hamilton, that it's very much, this is Hamilton messing up. Because a lot of times in the media and also in history and in, the discipline, the woman is blamed for the affair, and Lynn doesn't fall into that at all. It's very clear that it's Hamilton who's messing up and not Mariah, which I appreciate so much. But more than that, I love having Angelica and Eliza Schuyler as, role models, kind of, is what they've become. Especially because Angelica is smart and she's witty, but she's still caring and loyal, and she doesn't fall into that stereotype of, to be an intelligent and academic woman, you have to give up being, domestic or caring and things like that, which a lot of times happens in the media. But also with Eliza Schuyler Hamilton, I guess, you have this thing where she's this very domestic, feminine, or traditionally feminine character, and she's never degraded for that. She's never seen as less than Angelica because she, is very traditionally feminine and stuff. And that's really nice for someone, because I identify with that, and I identify with, very traditionally feminine characters, and oftentimes I feel like in the media you're told that if you're traditionally feminine, if you're domestic, if you're that kind of a person, you're not a strong woman. And obviously Eliza's a very strong character. So it's really great that I feel like Lynn has given me, and obviously like girls everywhere, these really strong female characters that we can look up to and want to emulate and, you know, see as people that I would like to be like. You know, I would love to be the perfect blend of Angelica and Eliza. That's what I aspire to in life now. So I'm really grateful for that. And obviously you can't talk about what Hamilton means without talking about diversity, because I think that the beautiful thing about it is that it's saying that America is for everyone. And especially right now during this election season, I think that's so important. This idea that the country of America and American history belongs to people of all races and of all genders and of all sexualities and everything like that, which I think is incredible. And I know people who this show means so much to, because not only has it kind of reclaimed American history for people of different races, but it's created all these roles on Broadway for people who often struggle to find roles, because the media industry in general, and Broadway is getting better at it, and musical theater in general is getting better at it, but it's very much difficult for people who aren't white to make it sometimes. So it's just incredible to see a show like this and to see the commitment to diversity that I wish I would see in more forms of media, not just in the theater world. Also, I have to say, like, as a history student, as a historian, as someone who's working on women's studies research right now, it's so incredible to see this portrayal of history and to see kind of a discussion of historiography, and the whole concept of who lives, who dies, who tells your story is so important to me. And this concept of Eliza as the person who tells people's stories, and that you know that you're seeing all of this information kind of through a biased lens. There's this focus on how history is told and why it's told and who tells it, that as someone who studies history I love to see, because I think enough people don't know about that. So that just gets me so excited anytime I think about it, and I could talk about it for hours, because it's just the coolest thing to see that addressed in like a very popular piece of media. And finally, Hamilton means a lot to me for all of the reasons I've talked about already, but I think the reason that it means the most to me is because I found Hamilton, or I guess Hamilton found me, at a time in my life where I was kind of struggling. This past fall semester, I'd come back from being abroad in Scotland, and I was feeling a little lost. I wasn't feeling like I fit in here at university. I was questioning some of my friendships because of things that had shifted while I'd been abroad. I didn't really feel like I fit in, or like I belonged, and it was really hard to stay motivated because I was struggling with my schoolwork. I was in a job that I wasn't enjoying. And I was really struggling, I guess is what I'm saying. And then I discovered Hamilton, and something changed. And I would listen to it, and I still do, while I was walking from class to class or to work, or while I was at work and while I was doing my homework. And it just made everything seem bearable, and it made everything seem worthwhile. And I will always be grateful for that, because it honestly turned my entire life, my entire outlook on life around. And it was a really powerful thing for me. And there's so many lyrics in it that mean so much to me. For example, when Washington says, dying is easy, young man, living is harder. You will find I have living is harder scrawled all over notebooks and calendars and to-do lists, just to remind myself that, yeah, it's harder, but it's worth it. And, you know, life isn't easy, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't fight that battle. And to have that coming from this musical, like every day, reinforcing it is so important to me. And also, I actually had like a very distinct moment where last semester I was having a really bad day. I was feeling like, you know, my classes just weren't worthwhile. Like, I just didn't belong here. I didn't fit in. I just wanted to be out of here. And I felt like that was never going to happen. And I was listening to Hamilton, and the line, "In New York you can be a new man," came on, and I just burst out crying, because it's been my dream for years now to move to New York after graduation. And I will be living in New York this summer to see if that is what I really want, which is super exciting. But every time I hear that line, I think that, yeah, there's always a chance to kind of rewrite yourself and to start a new paragraph. And there's always a chance to start over and try again, which I think is so important to me, because it's saying that every day you can You can make something new of yourself. You don't have to accept where you are with things. If you want to improve your life, you can do it. And you have that power. And I guess that's what Hamilton's given me, is this motivation to do things and to make something of my life and to make my life what I want it to be. And I have the reminder, now every day in New York, you can be a new man. So like, if this doesn't all work out here, there's the opportunity to find things elsewhere. And Hamilton has just given me so much. And I promised myself I wasn't going to get emotional in this video. Oh my God. I feel so grateful to Lin-Manuel Miranda and the entire creative team and the entire original Broadway cast of this show, because it is such a powerful piece of art and a powerful piece of media. And I think there are so many important things in it. And I think that people are finding such good things in this show, and people are, really connecting with it in ways that I think are really important for people to connect with art forms. And, for some people, this show means the idea that they could play a founding father. And that's something they might have never thought that they could do before. And for some people, it means finding a female role model that they can really connect to. And that's not always easy in the media today. And, for me, it's meant a lot of things, but really it's meant hope for what life can be and that you can make life better. And yeah, so I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about why Hamilton means so much to me, because I know people probably question it and not everyone understands, what is this hip hop musical about Alexander Hamilton that you're obsessed with. But it really is so much more than that. And I think that's part of why Lin just has incredibly powerful work. He's a great writer. He's a great composer. And he's just taken a story and really made a lot out of it. And I think Alexander Hamilton as a person is really inspiring. But there's just something about this musical, man, that there's nothing like it that I've ever found for me. And I just feel a really strong emotional connection to it. And I kind of just wanted to go ahead and talk about it now, because I will be seeing it in less than a month now. I'll be seeing it in March. And I can't wait. I'm a little worried about how emotional I'm going to be. But I just can't wait to actually see in person this thing that has really changed who I am as a person. It's just changed my outlook on life and has brought me closer to a lot of people. And I'm so grateful to this show. So thank you, Lin-Manuel Miranda, for giving me and everyone else this gift of a show.